have the Emma bans. We saw this previously, how Emma can dominate on domination. It's still up for debate, who the #1 Vanguard you should ban is, but the Magneto as protect from Hunter Thieves ship. This probably is going to be as expected, except the Wolverine ban coming out for Terra. Don't want to deal with that on this map. That's definitely unique, I think, a second ban Wolverine, right, Ship?
Yeah, we haven't seen a ton of that recently, but if you go back and just look at the match with 100 Thieves and Envy, right at the end there, an Eye of Agamotto pops, and then Terra pops that last stand, sweeps virtually everyone off the eye, and they clutch the W. Just so valuable, that last stand, how strong that character can be into Vanguards in general. I personally would want that off the board as well.
Then Human Torch getting banned outside. That's sort of that duelist pick that kind of hard carries, although there has been some teams that counteract it in terms of how they play, with Loki and stuff. Speaking of which, that's getting through at the current moment. We'll see what a protect comes through from Flyquest. They protect the Wolverine on their side, understanding that maybe that character with the thing, or with the Hulk could enable them, right, Shib?
That fastball special has kind of slipped under the radar for being a very powerful team up. It kind of always is in the back of people's minds. Obviously, Wolverine being able to get that much space that quickly without any cooldown utilization and then coming back like a boomerang with a Vanguard in hands is just so powerful. And they are not afraid to do that, as we have seen Flyquest run that is similar to 100 Thieves doing the same thing in the past few matches.
And we see a group ban on the opposite side. 100 Thieves still keeping the thing in their back pocket, even though they don't have that fastball special, like you said. And, the group ban makes sense. I think it's targeted towards Flyquest. We talked to how Flyquest and other teams will do target bans specifically against the team they're playing against. And you can see it's focused on towards Flyquest, making sure they don't get that Human Torch, making sure they don't get the Lunar Snow, making sure they don't get the group. Maybe not having like a direct strategy of what to put them on, but at least you're getting them off of those original characters. And then maybe you can look at adjusting your ban and protect phase in the upcoming maps, because this is a best out of 5, like you said, Shib. So first to 3 maps will win the series, and that's not even accounting draws and stuff once we head to Convergence. So I want to see if anything like that happens. However, this is going to be a very, very fun map number 1, right, Shib? Krakoa is a sick way to start off the day.
Absolutely, and we are going to see that team up with Hulk, and Namor Adios has been playing a ton of different roles and different heroes in general. We've seen Adios on things like Ultron, Torch, and even Namor. We even saw Jeff last tournament from Adios, so definitely a jack of all trades, but they do seem to love to run that Hulk-Namor combination with that Gamma turret. We know how strong that thing can be at just absolutely bursting teams and forcing eyes up in weird directions to clear it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think there's a lot of forcing of utility of in terms of just like your overall ability usage to try to force off those angles, and a lot of teams struggle with that at a fundamental level, right? Dealing with those sort of flyers, dealing with that sort of thing.
And we've been seeing, and you mentioned this prior, we've been seeing a lot more Hulk in EMEA, and now we're seeing, at least in the last few days, we've been seeing Spark on that Hulk, showing the value. Just the Exile alone is so powerful at the right time, similar to that shield, being able to shield up your team in various moments can help out with things like Punisher if you have the diligence to hold on to it for the right moment. But you see Energy here sweeping off to the left side as we are going to set up for point 1. That teleport's going to give them some space here to kind of set up where they want to, and I can't wait to get some answers as to the choice of the thing, especially without that Wolverine.
Energy setting up that flank, and it seems like they don't care too much about it, but Delena also caught out. Energy maybe looking for that Hela in the high ground as the Hulk surrounds him. So right now that sort of chokehold has forced Delena back into the team, which 100 Thieves are grouped together, and oh no, Delena gets deleted.
Yeah, Energy does a great job here on Psylocke. Seen a lot of success here over these last few matches. This flank, just the raw damage, not even needing that team up to have the clone. Just raw skill and talent as Vest finds Harvey too. Terra going to turn that around on Vest though. Vest playing very strong in the Vanguard, rolled over this whole tournament. Honestly, a ton of value, a ton of final hits there, despite who they are playing, especially over there on Magneto. But playing Strange currently in this game. Terra going to elect to play. We talk about Bucky being more valuable, and he has taken a little bit of a backseat due to the recent nerfs to his ultimate, but that double energy ball he could throw, knocking people out of the sky. And here comes the initiation with the Eternal Bond, trying to get some space on a point. Flyquest already at 22% and climbing. And out goes the Kraken Impact. Smart Chief onto Harvey, down to 1, turning it around on them as we see him proceeding forward against Loki. This just allows for resets, and definitely up in the sky goes Meteor M. TTK onto Zelos, and once again another trade here.
Yeah, he's still getting those resets, like you said. Energy, oh no, Terra, what a play with that shift right back into him. He's still keeping it going. I mean, he's been here for like 30 seconds.
The patience is insane. Using these clones to buy time, keeping clones there for the future to have a reset whenever need be. Terra popping off here, taking out 2, but still being held here by Flyquest at 51, and another Eternal Bond is out. The patience is insane, waiting to the last moment possible. TTK out of Spark Chief, and that does get the reset again.
4 seconds left to go. Gets Eye of Agamotto, but dashes away from it, so he's still immune to that, and he's still going. How many agains do we have? The chat room be spamming it probably because he just keeps going. He's hit it. He's like got 20 resets to this point. He's going to the spawn. He gets it again.
This might be world record timing here, finding a triple, but holding on to this thing for minutes on end. And finally, it is going to end there, and they are going to retake point, but it does not bode well at the moment. 70% over for Flyquest, who are going to try to come back in. They will not have ult advantage in this next fight, but that is a ton of percentage already. But wow, that was an insane thing to witness.
Yeah, I'm sort of privy to these like dive compositions right from Flyquest with that Psylocke, with their aggressive plays that choke out 100 Thieves. But when Terra does that, I mean, what do you do against it? Flyquest though walks in. They don't really have a lot of ultimates to work with, so they're gonna have to play it slow, force out these cooldowns maybe at 100 Thieves.
Got to show some love there to the strategist, allowing Terra to play super patiently with that reset, already ready for another Kraken impact very shortly at 82%. Helena gonna pop up with Ultron's Rage. Ultron pretty PO'd right now, not able to find anything just there. Looking at the high side, putting some damage out, just trying to build that charge back. Ultron can get that all back insanely quickly. Already at about 10. Finds a pick there. Well done by Delena. Trying to get back on Energy. Energy consistently finding these flanks, just applying pressure and turning eyes around. But Terra tries to hawk that down. Not able to get that done. Tries to have a pull there. Shielded off. Is forced in the back. Out goes the dance of the butterfly. The cutterfly, if you will, is best finds SJP. And this team is holding on again. Flyquest trying to turn the TTK. Says, not in my house. Throwing that meteor right down as Terra finds another on Zelos. 100 Thieves now at 75%, but the ult advantage should be in Flyquest in the next fight.
Yeah, 100 Thieves looking pretty strong at the current moment, playing around Delena on that Ultron. Be able to find those picks is massive. I mean, the aim definitely translates from Hela back over to that Ultron, and they're close to those ultimates again, like you said, Shib. Delena's already close to that Ultron ultimate, ready to go. Comes Energy on the backside, but they haven't been able to deal with it. The sustain has been too much for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and Energy he's doing a great job here finding these flanks, but just not buying enough space. They're just not focused too much on it, not worried too much about it, especially when you have those crystals ready for Loki. Out goes the Eye of Agamotto, finds a few, but Crystal's still up. Adios, gonna clean up Delena. That's a nice pick early, as Flyquest is gonna be evened out here in numbers. The fight proceeds in overtime. It is 99 for 100 Thieves. Out goes Energy again, 73%, just trying to get that ult ready. The Cutterfly ready to make some sort of play. Delena trying to find an off angle and return back, as we do see the drone here on Energy. You like to see that play. There is the knockdown, the reset again for Terra. Terra's going to find that pull, as we do see Spark Chief now on Cap. Cap seeing a lot more play recently. Out goes again. Oh, almost finding that pick in the sky. Is yes, Vest is going to clean that up. Numbers now back in the favor of Flyquest, who just want to get this point back. Clobbering time finds a few as TTK cleans it up. Energy back on SJP, and oh my goodness, this trades for days here, back and forth. It's like a trading post. You don't even know who's up anymore, as Vinny keeps the punches up and down. Goes Harvey, Delena, and Vinny, and Flyquest is going to retake this point.
Yeah, huge ultimate coming out there from Cooper in the copy onto his Cloak and Dagger. You saw that massive ultimate from Vinny with the clobbering time. I thought it would have maybe connected onto more, but because Cooper was there with that ultimate just in time, now 20% away. They want a fast fight. 100 Thieves do. Maybe with some ultimates coming up from TTK, they can get a connection on that Meteor M. Flyquest have ultimates through to have a rebuttal here, though.
Yeah, there's got to be a conversation. Seeing the drone over there on Strange. Strange can play around that shield. Obviously, a ton of HP there and an increase in HP recently. Eye of Agamotto goes out. Are they able to find anything? Crystals to die that down. Out goes the Meteor M. Also not finding much energy. Gonna pop out with the dance of the butterfly. Trying to take Ultron out mid-rage. Is it gonna work? Not able to clean it up, as Ultron has so much speed and movement in the sky. If you are good with that WASD and Z-axis juking up in the air like that, ascend and descend. Vinny keeping those haymakers out, trying to get that clobbering time back. Adios finds more value. Cooper on to Delena. Zelos on to Harvey. Will they be able to close this out, as they are heavily up in numbers now? It's all about this touch. Can they hold on, or will Flyquest get the job done, as they want to get their experience from this quest? Well done, Flyquest, on map 1.
Quest not complete, though. Unfortunately, Shib, they are 1 out of 2. Cradle next round for Flyquest. And it was so back and forth, Shib, right? 100% like we saw. I thought 100 Thieves might have held on there with SJP sitting on that top left, just above the high ground, but then came in the strategists of Flyquest in terms of Adios and Cooper. I don't know if you can call Adios a strategist necessarily because he was, playing Ultron, and you play that character pretty aggressively. But regardless, 14,000 damage. Adios just doing so much on that hero on the opposite side. His counterpart, Delena, maybe not as much, but he switched to it halfway through, really got off that Hela, so it was a bit of a harder game. Meanwhile, Terra, another member of 100 Thieves, who was pumping out so much damage, so everybody's trying to play around, their star duelist player, but really at the end of the day, it's these Ultrons that can pump so much down range. Same thing with Loki in terms of Cooper. I mean, he found opening picks multiple times, has nearly 12,000 damage on Loki. That's kind of insane.
Yeah, there's nothing more scary, you mentioned this, looking up on the high side and seeing SJP or any Loki with clones ready in the firing line, just healing for days, Crystal ready to keep the team up and just pumping out damage and healing. You've got to keep your eyes up there and clear those clones as we see them right now. Vest actually trying to find a little bit of damage on clones on the reset on the right side. Not too worried about those positioning. You talk about Ultron not getting a ton of healing as they're already on point, but does find value onto flyers immensely, or things like Doctor Strange. You can keep that shield up and utilize that more paced healing. TTK trying to find an angle, playing around this middle segment, still electing to use Vinny on the Thing there. Not going to be playing any sort of shield tank. Got to check back on the bans, but I am curious about the value there. Obviously, the Thing has a ton of damage reduction, and that ultimate can be very powerful in the right hands, but very much gives a ton of healing toward your strategist, but also gives a ton of damage to the enemy duelist. So we do initiate here with the bond on both sides, just kind of stalling the fight out again. Meteor Ram, will it land? Waiting it out and trying to force out the cloak, but no, it does not land again. Adios on the high side, initiating again with the Ultron's Rage.
Yeah, meanwhile, Terra just getting those resets. Zelo's gone in that fight, and yeah, this is surely going to be a reset for Flyquest. I was going to say how this map, I think, if any round than over others, right, Cradle, I think that the Hela gets so much value. I mean, there's just so much open space. There's less room for somebody like Ultron to hang out. I mean, you can kind of fly above, trying to play on those trees, maybe play around that middle point, but it's not exactly the best point for Flyers and for Ultron specifically. So 100 Thieves, this is their map that they did well on last time as well. Earlier on in the tournament when they ran both the Winter Soldier alongside the Hela, but it's tough because sometimes in these early on matches and tournaments in a new patch, it's very easy to get baited comp-wise. Now Flyquest has Shredder's ultimates to go in with. 100 Thieves have none to react to this with.
Yeah, I'm with you. You mentioned Flyers struggling here. A lot of that height is destructible, right? So that's the downside of running Flyers here, although you can still find value when you're running vertically on this map. You see them, these teams are fighting a lot more vertically than you would expect, maybe than you've seen in ladder. Trying to clear out some of these clones, forcing out crystals is good value right there. Out goes the Dance of the Butterfly again, not able to find too much value, but Ayavamoto is huge here, and they are going to sweep everyone. Insane play by Vest and Energy to just eliminate 100 Thieves and send them back to the spawn door while still having ult advantage. 48% for the side of 100 Thieves, though. They've got to gain that back.
Yeah, 100 Thieves try to live there, play together as a unit. Unfortunately, they were so close to their Cloak and Dagger Eternal Bond there, but Harvey went down to the Eye of Agamotto from Vest. I mean, he was trying to build it last second. Did eventually get it. Everybody grouped up, but that just meant Flyquest had an even stronger engage with their ultimates. And oh no, SJP before the fight even begins goes down. That's their only ultimate as well for this fight, so that surely means a reset coming into this one for 100 Thieves. But more tick on the board for Flyquest, more ultimates to be built as well for both sides, though SJP gets rezzed by Delena. Nice elimination from him.
Yeah, and a lot of people may be out there, not loving the way that Agamotto looked, where it was just kind of on the ground telegraph. But when you see cooldowns being used and you're playing Strange using that shield, if you count out those cooldowns, you don't need to do anything fancy with your jump. You can just press the Q button and get value. As you saw there up in the sky again, trying to hit the Eternal Bond. And great positioning there by Cooper to avoid that. Adios going to find SJP Terra on the Spark Chief to even it out again. This is going to look like another one of those very... Oh, as we see Terra coming in with a cracking impact. I might have spoke too soon. Trying to find more value. Terra on a Vest, Delena on the Adios, and there we go. 100 Thieves is now looking more like themselves, riding the momentum, and they're going to run down the rest here and force out staggers, but no! Terra goes down, but Vinny going to clean up Zelos and Cooper.
Yeah, I feel like for 100 Thieves, the catalyst to them succeeding is Vinny in terms of his clobbering time. No more ults, though, in this upcoming fight. Flyquest do have that Eye of Agamotto ready to go. 100 Thieves, you know how they play, right? They group up together as a unit around Harvey whenever he has those Storm, the Dagger of Storm alarm ability, right? Whenever they can play around that aura. So whenever they have that, they're going to be grouping up as a unit. Right now, they have to play split. You can see Delena over the top side. They know an Eye of Agamotto's coming, and if Delena hits a few good shots, they're in a good spot. But now they're all grouped up together for this Eye of Agamotto.
And I hope all Hella players saw that position, because that was insane up there on the top of the trees. Out goes the Eye. Does it find value as Zelos takes out Delena? Cooper onto SJP. Vest really setting up these plays here with the Eye of Agamotto as 3 go down. Make that 4. Do I see 5? And they run them back to the spawn door at 75%. Once again, 100 Thieves just barely up. That's going to be a stagger there on Terra from Energy. And great play by Fly. We're going to push this thing to 99, and 100 Thieves are going to have to show up here and then likely teleport if they want to extend this thing.
That's what I was talking about. I mean, they had to group up together. Maybe they had to split, I think, to play differently. They just didn't play around the Eye of Agamotto. It's tough. Vels has been connecting so well. Now Audios comes in with an early ultimate. SJP goes down.
Flyquest is just looking so good in these last few games. Adios onto Harvey immediately early on in that fight. That is terrifying. If I'm on the side of 100 Thieves, down go Vinny. Ult advantage showcasing here for Flyquest as they're making everything happen. Down go 3. Terra going to turn it around on Adios. Find 1 to try to even the odds here. Teleport's going to have to come through. Delena forces the touch. Terra goes down. And that's going to do it as 100 Thieves take the entirety of map 1. Or, excuse me, Flyquest.
Same thing. Green, red. I'm colorblind. Green, red, colorblind. No, that was amazing. Great work from Flyquest. I think that goes to show. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I think Hella maybe struggles on domination, so maybe we can like give it that sort of leeway. But maybe if we go to Convoy, maybe we go to Convergence, that Hella does a little bit better. But the problem is you're playing so reactionary, right? From what we saw, what Flyquest is doing to them is surrounding 100 Thieves, and 100 Thieves are just they're going into it, right? They're okay with that, and the only way they survive is when they're on like that triple strategist composition, when they have the Ultron, when they had Delena on that Ultron. Because right now, I mean, there's just no way for SJP and Harvey to keep the team alive when they're just choked out and slammed by Team Energy or by Team Flyquest. With Energy going in from the dives with Spark Chief, it just feels like it's too much pressure. And you know, that's kind of where the meta's going. It almost feels like the dive compositions are doing really well unless you're against something like you know, Adam Warlock triple res compositions. Maybe with the Ultron, you can sort of live, but 100 Thieves just got played, honestly. Like, Flyquest just kind of dominated them. The only time they were succeeding, I feel like, was when Terra was absolutely popping off, and Delena found some opening picks, and it was great. Delena's definitely a star player in his own right, but, you know, when it comes to 100 Thieves composition, relying so much on the Bucky, I don't think is going to be too super consistent. We'll see how it goes, I think, when we go to Convoy, but at least on domination, it was like the Terra show, and then sometimes Vinny hit a clobbering time. Whenever those two ultimates did not connect, or whenever one of them couldn't pop off, it felt like they would just lose.
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, we mentioned, we've had this conversation, you and I, back and forth with this new dive with Cap going in with Psylocke, and even having things like Torch, who are going to follow up on a lot of those picks with burst damage. It's been really strong right now, and you see 100 Thieves, their play here, I believe, is they're trying to counter it with something like Bucky, who, you know, has taken a little bit of a backseat in this recent patch. Obviously, still getting a ton of values. You see Terra had 12 final hits there, but I'm with you. I'm just not sure if it's enough. If a team's running this new, this new strategy, this new dive style effectively, can you really counter it with that? You know, they're running the Thing for that reason as well, the Thing and Bucky. I just don't know.
And there's the Wolverine ban again from Flyquest.
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We see the Magneto lock in again. TTK always performing there. They had 5 finals last time on that mag. Seems to always find value with those Meteor M's. We talk about the positioning and height when in dangerous positions, trying to find more height so it has more time to land, so they can help burst through and wait the cooldowns out of various defensive cooldowns. So big brain there with the meatball in the sky. Luna going to be banned out, and Torch, me and you always say Torch gotta go if you're not running Torch, because Torch is incredibly strong right now.
Yeah, Torch is pretty damn good. I do think there's some counterplay to it. Like I said, when we saw EMEA, I think they did play some sort of like Loki composition against the triple. There are ways dude. Guys, Remix, what are your boys doing, man? Get them on a leash. Why did Harvey not ban anything there? What the heck? What the heck is he doing?
Oof. Yeah, we've seen that happen before, and it did result in an L. I mean, we'll see if it changes up here, but not having a ban is a little bit of crazy work unless you are that confident. I know this team is a confident team, and we have the conversation all the time that when a team gets beat up on map 1, there is the chance they took that Emma kick to the face and come back like the Hulk. So I am expecting to see Bruce the Hulk on this next lineup here for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I like the Cap ban. I think, Captain America is people say Venom is a replacement for Cap, and I agree, but I still think Venom has some counterplay on the Cap. Sorry, I thought they missed the ban as well. But the thing ban on for Flyquest, they know what 100 Thieves wants to do. Maybe without the thing, that Venom can do a ton of work, but also that Groot went through. Right now, that 100 Thieves map number 1 did get rid of the Groot. In this map, Flyquest, it's kind of like they knew what 100 Thieves would do, right? They know that the Groot would get banned that map number 1, and you feel good about that because you can play that dive composition. Now at map number 2, once you let that Groot go through, it kind of turns into that thing Flyquest did before with their sort of comp they just kind of run at you with. So right now for Flyquest, they potentially run that triple strategist composition triple Vanguard composition on defense. But I would be kind of worried going against the Groot comp. I want to see, especially with the Wolverine ban, how 100 Thieves does against the Groot composition. Because we saw yesterday, Shib, I mean, it was disgusting how good the Groot comp is for Flyquest.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Spark's been running a mean Groot, always in that conversation at the top for someone that can just dominate. But I know 100 Thieves has practiced. They've scrimmed against stuff like this. I'm sure they have a solution. If they're not banning something out, and it gets tricky because they did miss a ban. So that conversation can get a little tricky, like I mentioned. But, I'm sure they have practice against it. They know what to switch to if need be. As we start up here, they do also have the Punisher on the table. So that is one of Groot's biggest problems, just due to the raw damage Punisher can output just to burst those walls down. We see a lot of teams here holding tight on point 1. Adios in the sky. We have seen Adios up there on Ultron in the last match, really strong on Ultron. Ultron, more of an aggressive strategist. Does get a little bit of vengeance there from that support strike, if you will. And we are set up on the turret here, just bursting walls. That is priority 1. As you see, Terra doing a great job there with focus.
Yeah, we saw this Storm comp come through from one of the best Storm teams in Envy, and Flyquest dealt with it well. We'll see how they do against the 100 Thieves in the Storm composition. And right now, 100 Thieves not buying any sort of purchase or getting any sort of purchase towards this payload. Right now, the objective is not pushing, not even inching forward. In fact, Flyquest have that car capped. Ult's now up. Cooper gets the copy.
And we do see the dance floor out immediately. There goes Terra with the final judgment, finding Spark Chief early. Looking up towards the high side. Adios doing a great job juking there, just waiting this out. Only finding 1 there with the final judgment. Still good value as the Hurricane comes through. They're going to focus target damage on it. But no, the Hurricane's totally fine. Bubbled up their team, playing around each other well. But what a hold here already by Fly, who are up heavy in ultimate advantage on this next fight. Up in the sky we go. Energy tries to dunk it, does not work out. Out goes the Eye right after. In return right here, TTK get the job done on the back line? No, does not land as well. Great rotation there by Loki to avoid and dodge. Cooper with great positioning.
This is taking so much time off the clock. Minute 30, they're still trading back and forth. You still have the Ultron above. You still have so much sustain. They're close to another Ultron ultimate. Groot ultimate out, strangling prisons here. The damage is there, and my God, they've not even moved 4 meters. 5 meters is about as far as they've gone. Not that's not an impressive length, but regardless, 2 minutes left to go for 100 Thieves, and they haven't gotten anything.
Oh my goodness, what a start here by Fly. Holding on with ult advantage in this next fight. It's going to be very close, actually. Looks like 100 Thieves in this next fight should have 3. Terra going to initiate here early with the final judgment. Oh, and stopped by the wall is the strangling prison. Can Terra work through it either way? Great positioning and movement here to keep the team up. Out goes the blind and damage boost. Adios going to pop that. Ultron's rage. Still not able to get too much, turning it into a healing ultimate. A Spark Chief goes down there from Terra. This has been an insane hold, and 100 Thieves is having to burn everything to just get out of the door. Flyquest is looking insane, like a Celestial with a huge out here by Vest onto SJP. And Vest, these eyes make it 2, have been disgusting.
Yep, Vest has anime protagonist hair, and he might have anime protagonist powers, because right now Vest just so good on the Doctor Strange Delena. He tried to get eyes on him, and he's still getting eliminations. Audio's gonna go down to the 1v1. Another shot. Oh my God, he doesn't miss right now. With those eliminations, maybe that gets some space. Audio's going down is huge, because that was a lot of the survivability of Flyquest, but they're still on this cart, and they pop Meteor, and they're gonna need to find elimination to make this get any value out of it. And right now they're able to get those eliminations, finally move forward. You're trading back and forth, though, and that's not ideal for your 100 Thieves, even though you have ultimates.
Yeah, and Delena took that personally and pressed forward, found a few, and that allowed the team to get up in ult advantage and in fight advantage, taking the fight through and finally pressing out of the spawn door. But wow, I've got to show some love on that defense. Alt advantage should be on the side of 100 Thieves for this fight. They've got to turn up here and get some momentum because now we're in final fight territory. It'll be a teleport likely to try to extend it a bit, but out goes the Strangling Prison. Terra trying to hold them there, and a ton of damage out walls, keeping the team healthy. Vinny finds Cooper there, and down goes one. Make that two as Vest falls as well. That's 3, 4, as 100 Thieves is now looking more like themselves. Flyquest, though, it will have alt advantage in this next fight as Vinny cleans up energy.
Yeah, they might have try to get too cheeky with it with the try to kidnap the Hella strategy, but you know they're going to Jeff, by the way, to speed boost everybody to spawn. Cooper's going to swap back. Vest will be here to touch, so 3 fights is what the goal was, and they've accomplished it, even though Vest got deleted and the walls are here.
Did not miss the dome there. Terra, just a really good shot. Going to hold this positioning. Audio's going to initiate here with Ultron's Rage. Just using it into a healing. Not able to get a ton of value there. Terra going to try to find a second. Delena takes out Spark Chief. There goes the tackle. Doesn't get anything. Energy not able to find much there. Out go the dance floors to hold on and extend the fight. Terra pulling out the shoddy, and that is going to be enough to push them through point 100 Thieves has now found their footing, and they're going to start to sprint through the marathon that is Flyquest.
Interesting that Spark Chief is down with that spawn to fall back, but at least he's getting some more charge for his strategist players. Flyquest coming back 2 minutes in the streets phase. Now, we've seen a lot of teams struggle on the defense until about 3rd phase, so it's kind of hard to get multiple fights in the streets phase of the map. Flyquest do have ultimates to come back, and Delena has a lot of space. We've seen how good he is so far, and Harvey's there with the follow-up into Cooper.
Yeah, just holding this height, great off-angle positioning. Delena does this really well, always finding a way to keep eyes in a different direction than the card. So we will see Delena relocate over here again. Vest has played a mean Strange in this series as Terra is going to begin with the final judgment once more. Burst all the shields, get the cooldowns out, and try to still find one. But that damage reduction there by Spark is going to keep the team moving. And there's the clobbering time. It finds a few. Can they collapse off it? Out go the Loki crystals. Terra finds Spark Chief there. Again, TTK taking out energy, and now 100 Thieves are cooking here with Grease shoving through Flyquest, who will still not have an alt advantage on this next fight, as it should be very close, 2-2 with SJP and Harvey, both strat lines ready to counter up.
Energy is swapping over to the Human Torch, and this is what Delena does, right? He just kind of off angles the whole time. Cooper's down again to TTK. Oh no, catching him out. And you know, these angles that Delena takes, he was sort of the person to start doing it in North America with these hard flanks on Namor and Hela, and he's able to find that opening pick on a Cooper. That's huge moving forward.
It goes to show you something if you're playing in ladder. Do not just stand behind the tank. Take eyes elsewhere, and it'll help everyone as the Vanguard is just trying to stay up, and down go 3. SJP switching it over to DPS. The boost there. TTK going to take out Cooper. And wow, okay, 100 Thieves. Who needs 100 Thieves when you have 6? And they just shove through point 2.
I don't know what it is, whether it be map design or how the pro players play the game, but it feels like in the streets phase of maps, they just don't know how to hold. It's hard. I think that maybe the sight lines are attackers' favored. The chokes, I mean, there's like 3 chokes you can come out of, and they all came out of the top one. It's very easy to read, especially on those flank angles. Cooper, I mean, you could say he's sort of feeding a little bit on those previous fights, but it's tough because they're sort of caught out of position, caught with their pants down because of how Delena's playing.
Yeah, it's a momentum thing. Like you said, they try to get cute there off the rip there with the teleport, and it did kind of bite them when they were playing so well together with momentum. It's heavily shifted as Vinny finds Spark Chief. Terra, how many times does he have final judgment in these fights? Consistently ready to press Q nearly every fight as Harvey takes out 2. Well done there by one of the masters of Loki. Delena going to find Vest, and Vinny just going to place himself on the high ground, potentially wall off, get ready for a mean strangling prison here as we do see some changes up on the side of Fly. We're now running that Venom on Spark Chief. Out comes the Human Torch, and we will see a bit of a change. Will it be able to work out for him? The turret falls early.
Yeah, it's interesting that Energy is the one on the Human Torch instead of Audios, because usually Audios is a really good Human Torch player. Not that Energy isn't, but he is a typical Human Torch player for sure. Now here comes the Meteor of the Sky. Nice dodge on the inside angle, allowing Flyquest some space. Now they have ultimate advantage.
Yeah, this could be huge for them. I have Agamotto again. It is huge. Can they collapse? 2 go down. Will we see 3 Vests? These eyes have not missed. An absolute demon. Energy cleans up Terra, and there goes 4. Can I see 5 and 6? And well done by Flyquest to find their footing again and turn this right back around with one more fight available for 100 Thieves.
Energy sitting in the flank, sort of hiding. You can see if he's too close to the wall. Wait a second. Portal block for everybody?
Oh, they were able to squeak out with one there for Terra.
They're trying. He can't. 8 seconds. I mean, Terra's gone as well. And Spider-Man, like you said, he squeaked out. But can anybody even touch? 3 seconds left. 2 seconds left. Nobody's there. 100 Thieves get stopped in their own spawn door due to some portal cheese, baby.
Yeah, this is a Strange map for a reason. Strange plays so well on these spawn doors, especially the double ones. There's multiple on this map. I believe 3 to just shut down the enemy. Incredible timing, great thought process, and way to get the job done by Vess, who holds them in there. They were only able to squeak out with a Spider-Man who got KO'd nearly immediately. What a hold by Flyquest.
Can I say something, Shib? I am so tired of the people that say, get that out of the game. You know, like the Doctor Strange portal cheese where you block spawn and stuff. You know, it's like, it makes sense. It's annoying to play against for sure. Like, I don't disagree. Same thing with Black Panther. You know, all those Redditors that complain about how OP the character is. It's a part of the game, you know, and I love it. That's the Doctor Strange portals. That's a part of the, you know, tech of this game, even though it is like not that skillful for sure. I mean, if you just time it well, that's a skill in its own, but realistically, it's not like a mechanical skill per se. Regardless, I feel like it's, you know, a part of the game, and I think it's cool when, you know, pro players especially can take advantage of said mechanics. The Doctor Strange portals definitely make Marvel Rivals unique compared to other hero shooters.
Yeah, and to be honest, we've only seen it one other time throughout this whole set of this tournament, throughout all of Ignite so far, and it only held 1. That was a 5-hero hold, which was beautiful. It just goes to show you it's not as easy as it may look. It still requires insane timing and skill and thought. He had to click that button instantaneously, likely before everyone was even KO'd as they press forward, and Flyquest has been showcasing how strong they are in the momentum in their favor. Can 100 Thieves turn this back to them and hold them early on as they're electing to hold a little deeper?
Yeah, right now, they're trying to go for those early holds, and there's already, you know, Flyquest as a unit sort of pushing them out, especially with that Hulk. So that's the deviation they're doing on their attack. Meanwhile, for 100 Thieves, they need Delena to find these opening picks on flank angles and stuff, and for Flyquest, they're going to have to match them.
And they have this corner already. I do like when teams are forcing the 3, but this team doesn't feel like they need it. And that down goes 1. Energy, great tackle there on a Vinny. Groot's worst nightmare is the guy with claws. He turns into a scratching pose and just charges up. And he's just such a large body. It allows Logan to just make massive plays early onto a Vanguard, which is terrifying. You really, you know, you're forced to try to work in like an invis to get that push and pull to keep your Vanguards up. It just forces out a ton of changes in your composition. But Flyquest is already on the very end here. Out comes Terra's final judgment. No new sight here, as this has been something we've been seeing consistently. Out goes a ton of cooldowns. We do see the Eternal Bond there, keeping Flyquest healthy as they're holding on behind the point.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing slow. Delena's on the flank, too. So Delena, meanwhile, trying to find those shots in. Everybody on Flyquest pushing forward right into this meteor end.
Ooh, trying to find energy in the sky was a good idea there by TTK. Damage boost goes out as well. Harvey holding on to the dance floor. Iwakamoto, oh, that could have been insane. But you did see Terra turn into the turret there. A little known fact for those who don't know, you can use that as an iframe to avoid stuns, but they were not able to hold on to the point, and Flyquest just takes it.
Yeah, Energy with a huge last stand, I think, to close it out for them. And, you know, Vest kind of created space. At least he gets to hold onto the eye. Oh, my goodness, by the way. Fastball into your face. Terra. I mean, unfortunately, it was Punisher with the dead dog. The wrong show. Regardless, Energy with a pick from him. I mean, that fastball special, like you said, Shib, it's huge. We see teams in EMEA do it as well. Insomnia are a huge proponent of running that Wolverine team up, and they're doing it again.
Yeah, no, that's just his whole family, not the dog. But anyway, we are going to see the throw here by Fly. Energy, again, just playing a mean Wolverine here on these angles. Terrifying force and finding a ton of tackles. Just hasn't missed any yet, but well played. Spark Chief is a mean Groot as well. We talk about Groot Hulk finding extra value recently. He just kind of fell off the meta just due to just lack of, I don't know, not lack of experience, but just maybe lack of utilization. People just kind of forgot about him, but he is still incredibly strong. The team is able to drop him as we talk about it. Out goes Cooper's ult here by Fly. Get the Eternal Bond, and it's followed up again by a mean eye. Will they find any value? Trying to get one of the strats, and great shield there. You can actually use Strange's shield to block off healing ults, and that is exactly what he did as SJP goes down. Beautiful thought process and comms there by Vest to allow the team to focus that up while shielding off the heals.
And now Delena's back over, or he swapped already early over to the Ultron because he can't find much value on the Hela. Now they move towards the Carp, having that Captain American ult. Also, people are stunning the choke point, but 100 Thieves, they're maybe opening things up. Energy went a little bit too deep.
Yeah, TTK finds energy there early. That is what they needed to get back on this point. Harvey is going to try to copy up the bond. Adios finds Delena as we have bonds on the ground on both sides. Zelos falling back, trying to retreat towards the team, towards Loki at least, and Strange. They are resetting well, and they're going to retake this fight with 3 minutes on the clock. A ton of time here for them to press through it, but this corner is very difficult to take. So we'll see.
Yeah, it is very difficult to take. Good point. Adios comes in with that Ultron ult, met by Terra again. He's gotten a lot of eliminations last time with his final judgment. He only... Actually, TGK goes down early, and unfortunately, he just finds nothing but clones.
Yeah, Vess has been really showcasing the talent on Strange here as we immediately are going to dive in here with Cooper. Cooper playing hyper aggro. Once you throw out that Eternal Bond, don't be afraid to stay in Cloak form because Cloak can do some strong damage. Sparchi finds Delena, and that is 2 down for 100 Thieves. Will they get shut down? Vess is holding on to this eye. Found a ton of value with it so far. Waiting out some cooldowns. Likely going to press Q here if need be, but they may not need it. Cooper onto Terra. Cooper onto Vinny, and that's that firing line damage from Loki. Just going to shield off Loki here as SJP goes down. TTK as well, and 100 Thieves are falling here as Flyquest is popping off and taking point 2.
3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. Vance, again, like you said, on Doctor Strange has been nuts. I think Flyquest takes advantage of Doctor Strange better than most teams, if not every team. And for 100 Thieves side, they have to come back and do it with 3 minutes. Vinny is on that Captain America, so he'll do some harassing in the back line. But unfortunately, when you don't have a lot of follow-up on these sort of dives, it sort of negates the value of the Doctor Strange. And oh my goodness, energy just comes in the back line from the Hulk.
Energy has been doing that nearly every fight, every neutral off the rip, and Flyquest is up in ults again by 4. And now, excuse me, only 1 now as ults have just popped up here for 100, and that is going to be a pick again. Vess has got to chill with these eyes as Vinny goes down. Numbers advantage on the favor of Flyquest, keeping the pressure. Terra turns that right back though. Zelos goes down. Great final judgment here by Terra, who plays a mean Punisher. Up again with the turn. TTK onto Cooper, and they are going to retake positioning here, I believe, but Energy has that last stand. They're just going to let himself fall there.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense. Well, he just AFK'd for a moment, but 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to go. TTK with a huge shot onto Cooper in that copy. So both Shredder's ultimates used, 2 Shredder's ultimates used, rather. Audio's coming up on his own. Sparky going to stick on that Hulk as well. I mean, there's 2 minutes left on the clock. 100 Thieves basically have 4 Shredder's ultimates with the Captain America, so they want to sustain, but it's going to be very hard to do so versus Energy. I mean, Last Stand can find eliminations even through Shredder's ultimates if it's placed well.
Yeah, it's all about bunkering down together here. This could be a huge pick if it is the correct Loki, but you got to find out together. Doesn't look like it was. Great ult here to keep the team healthy. We are going to see. What do you know? Terra with another final judgment for the 500th time in these fights, just dealing so much damage. Energy, great escape there. Adios may not be able to get away. No, down goes Adios, and 100 Thieves may be able to hold this with 1:30 on the clock.
And they definitely could. It's within their wheelhouse to do so. 100 Thieves also built up those Shredder's ultimates. Energy again. Where are you going to send him? Are you going to flank again on Hulk? It looks like they are. But they know it's coming because you can hear the Hulk's giant footsteps kind of running around these back halls.
Yeah, that's really true. And you know there's going to be a fastball in hand. Energy tried. Great bubble there to hold on and keep the team up by TTK. Delena now is trying to find a pick early and making sure that that heal does not get grabbed. But no, still able to grab that. Spark Chief going to head back towards the Shrats. Hopefully give some all charge. But no, that's a great pick. Forcing into Bruce into that corner. At this point, you want to leave him as Bruce form for as long as possible and then maybe find the pick, as it does just essentially take one out the fight. As Vess is taking the space back, out goes the Eternal Bond. Up in the sky goes TTK and Ultron. TTK onto Cooper. There goes that Bond. Vinny onto Spark. SJP now onto Vess, and 100 Thieves is holding this for one more fight. Can they get the job done?
Yeah, and they don't have Doctor Strange, so there's no portal blocking going to come through onto Flyquest this time around. They've swapped over to the Thing, wanting to play close together as a unit. 100 Thieves don't have a ton of ults to work with, though it will be Terra with that final judgment. We've seen him before. He will counter Vess's ultimate as well. The Agamotto cannot connect onto a final judgment, but he's going to have to build that ultimate and get CC immunity in this fight.
Yeah, it's all about this fight. Ult advantage for Flyquest. They need to do it here. This is everything for them. Can they find value with each one of these Qs? If they do, it's game over. Crystals are out early, and they find one. Down goes Harvey. Down goes Terra. Will this be enough for them to take home the W? They're pressing in now. Oh, and Adios onto Vinny. Numbers up heavy now. 6-4. Make that 3, and the portal wall is out.
It's out. And it's over. I mean, there's no way they do this. I mean, they do have one coming out. It could be potentially doable. I mean, that's over. Flyquest against the clock in this case, Shiv, like you mentioned, they didn't have a lot of time left at the very end, but they had so much going into third phase. Get it done on that map, up 2-0, put themselves on map point to get that #1 seed in Group A.
Wow. Flyquest is looking so good as a unit. We talk about the individual talent. We talk about them playing together as a team. It seems like they're having a ton of fun in these interviews and their discussions about being more versatile and not allowing themselves to be banned out. 100 Thieves, an incredible team known for clutching up in moments. Obviously, look at the stat lines across the board. It's difficult to pin blame if you were even trying to. It's just all about those fights, those neutrals, and finding a value with those cues.
Yeah, the problem is I think a lot of the carry does come through energy and through teamwork, just like whittling down the opponents. Like you said about Terra having 55,000 damage. I mean, double the amount of the highest damage dealing characters on the other side. I mean, with Vest with 27k. It's, was that 54k? So that's not even the same amount as Terra in that damage. But we saw that as well on Domination some maps, right? It depends. When you have a Storm, when you have a Punisher, of course, we're going to do high damage. Of course, you're going to do all of that damage. Like you said about how Jeff players will get MVP sometimes. They'll be like, guys, I did so much. But it's just because of the algorithm and stuff, you know, that the support players, strategist players get MVP. But regardless, it's not all about stats. It's all about team play, like we said. Flyquest playing around that objective very well. We saw how long that first point hold was. And sure, you know, the stats may not show that they were completely dominant compared to Terra's stats, but I mean, it's Punisher. That's what he freaking does. He does damage. Like, what do you think is going to happen when a Punisher's in the lobby and there's nothing to really match him damage-wise?
Yeah, we've got to readdress, like you're saying, that first point hold. I mean, it got them to 30 seconds, and that may have been the deal breaker for the team not able to push through point 3 completely, as Fly had a ton of time there after the second point, at least, or, you know, 2 minutes 20 there on the third point, and they just kept finding success in these fights. It was insane to witness. And like you're saying, energy, these early picks nearly every time, as you see right here onto Terra, which is a massive W. If you find Terra early like that, just the raw damage, we talked about, what, 55k, 13 finals there for Terra, who had about 5 billion ultimates. So just
heard through, you know, Nevix earlier, it's tough because in this new van phase, you have to, you know, play everything besides just a mere composition. So because you can get target banned, it might put you on a comp you're not as comfortable with. So flexibility is key, and Flyquest has been known as one of those teams that can flex to the highest degree. So same bans as well coming through from Flyquest, and you can see that prioritization of the Wolverine again. 100 Thieves ignoring what's happened so far and just going with that mag ban again. So we're going to see some pretty typical bans coming through with the first 2 protects and 3 bans, but maybe things will vary after this. But Luna Snow banned again for 100 Thieves. I think we know where this is headed.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm curious about the fact that they're still banning Emma off the rip. We've seen other regions now electing to not do that and not too afraid of leaving Emma, although Emma's very strong. Trying to find maybe the problem child of the other team, whoever's been giving them the most issues, just eliminate that relatively early to try to give you a better chance here. But that is not going to be the case, as we see roughly the same bans. We get to Cap out of there is a good change of pace here for 100 Thieves.
I think they did that last time, though. Like last round.
Oh yeah,
they played Hulk.
End. Yeah, true.
So, I mean, the Ultron ban, that's at least forcing them off of that Ultron composition. We'll see what Flyquest does to adapt to it. But we, you know, from what we've seen, Shib, I mean, triple res is still available. They go for that Wolverine, or that, not Wolverine, that Punisher protect, Wolverine protect up on the top side. I don't know. I mean, not crazy adaptation from 100 Thieves, but it's something, right? And that's kind of like you said, that's what we want out of this team.
Well, we got to draw attention to the fact that there was a missed ban last time, right? So that is also,
yeah, true.
We got to mention that. That is definitely important, and that definitely impacts performance as a team, where the other team, you know, gets a slight advantage and more options where they can switch things up if things aren't working. And we saw Flyquest make some changes throughout the match. So we'll see something different here as we go to Holiday Jalia, and I'm excited to see another domination.
Yeah, I'm as well, and I'm curious what Flyquest opt to do as well. I mean, we've seen them play Hulk and not a lot of Namor, which is kind of interesting. They're playing instead that triple with the Wolverine, not playing towards that Namor again, maybe opting away from that hero, at least versus 100 Thieves, depending on how the bans go. Maybe certain strategists and stuff, hard to play the Namor against, specifically, I guess, if you mentioned Loki, because you can just pop crystals, counter your entire ultimate, so that could be definitely a reason why we're not seeing the Namor necessarily. Also, you know, with the 100 Thieves composition, maybe the name war doesn't fit against it, but we know that's in their back pocket. We'll see what they do on Hall of the Jalia, like you mentioned, and right now 100 Thieves definitely have none of the wind in their sails. So, you know, Flyquest, this is the final boss in the group stages. We'll see if they can accomplish this goal, this raid finish, and right now they're looking pretty damn good.
Yeah, to quote something like Hawkeye, you got to pull the bow back before it can loose forward, as Flyquest loses that first match against Ego, and have just been progressing forward ever since. If they take 100 Thieves out here 3-0, I cannot imagine the momentum as we go into the playoffs next weekend.
I just like how that Black Panther statue, you know, just reminds us of Flyquest losing to Ego Death in the first round. So pretty funny how that's sort of been a recurring theme with Flyquest hovering around the Black Panther, understanding they lost to it. You know, they're not afraid to admit it. And right now, 100 Thieves teleport around the backside to set up Delena with the team, which is maybe not where he necessarily wants to be just yet, but it's at least a starting point for 100 Thieves to make up Flyquest feel a little uneasy.
This is one of the cool things about the tournament, seeing strategies different from what you may see in ladder, just to kind of shake up the pace and force eyes in a different direction, playing at a different location. The whole team is now stacked under this bridge, which is a pretty strong defensible position. So smart play here by 100 Thieves, and out immediately goes the Eternal Bond in record time. Out again goes the Invisible Boundary. We're going to see Q's popped everywhere as it is just back and forth. But who is the first to go down as another Eternal Bond is out for the side of 100 Thieves, and it's matched by Zelos, who does fall. Well done. Adios to clean out Delena there. Delena again gets a pick, and it's just back and forth.
Oh my goodness, Fest did connect the Meteor M past the shield, but it wasn't fully charged, so Terra got to live. Also, that HP buff. Oh my goodness, I forgot. Terra literally had like 42 HP. If it was old Punisher, he would have been gone. So they're trying to portal back. They do have somebody to touch. Flyquest are trying to retouch.
And there is the retouch, able to drop in here. We'll see how long this lasts for. You can't leave the point for too long, even on height there. Again, TTK trying to find one, does. Down goes Zelos. Delena dropping Vest. There's the res, though, but it's not going to be enough to touch. It's just going to force a stagger unless they can, right off the map goes Spark. Smart decision there to regroup as a team. You do not want to wait, because when you wait, the next fight is down a number, and then the odds go in their favor, and it's a steamroll from there as we see Cooper fall there, and down goes Vest. So talking about staggering, there it is.
Yeah, these are some good staggers. And this is what we talk about, too, with, you know, if you're wondering why a tank player, a Vanguard player swapped to Rocket Raccoon. It's to retouch the point. You know, there's certain heroes you need to retouch with Doctor Strange. Rocket Raccoon can be seen as one of those to allow your team to constantly pressure the point with the BRB. You know, you come back through with somebody else on Doctor Strange. It's whoever goes down first, whoever's the first casualty wants to swap. Now 100 Thieves pushing forward. They do have Vinny now on that Doctor Strange, so that could be the change they need, but Energy with a quick kidnap onto TTK.
Down goes TTK Energy, always finding value with these Wolverine plays. Looks to the high side here on Terra. Terra with a good escape, with a nice smoke screen flying backwards. Another tackle here onto Vinny. Will they be able to clean that up? Up in the sky goes Vinny. Vinny tackled almost again. Good idea there with the right click from Wolverine, but not able to finish that up. 100 charge, ready for damage as Adios finds one. Down goes Vinny. Flyquest again up in numbers and holding on and finding their footing, but Terra taking the space right back.
Yeah, it's tough. You just don't want to be taking easy eliminations like that in the neutral, giving momentum back. Delena, oh no, goes down again, but maybe Terra can equalize it with this final judgment. They come back in with that Eternal Bond, and he gets tracked. Oh no, Cooper, too easy for Terra, the Canadian beamer. Terra with some fantastic shots in the ultimate.
Yeah, it's all about patience and focus. You can definitely burst through that with the final judgment, and it is going to be launched here by Zelos of Fly to hold on to the point, as Cooper did fall relatively quickly there. Spark Chief onto Terra. That's a nice start to the fight for Flyquest. 100 Thieves not afraid of fighting 5v6 if need be. Vinny got to take out Adios and make it 5v5. Crystals are out too, and there is, the Goddess of Death up, but here comes the Meteor Ram. The meatball into the back line, not able to land as shields were up. Delena trying to get some value, still not able to do so just yet. Forced back, great positioning again. Spark Chief pops the Q for Hulk, and down goes TTK, and once again Flyquest retaking position. Great lockdown there, trying to find two. Down goes another, I believe. No, still held up by Crystals. Well played. And there's the follow-up by Energy. There goes two, make that 3, 4 as Flyquest sweep the rest of 100 Thieves.
Yeah, this composition makes a little bit more sense for Flyquest to have Adios on that Human Torch. It's probably back into like a comfort pick for him. Energy, though, the ultimate flex player onto that Wolverine. It's very important to have these duelist players who can flex to characters, whether they be Hitscan, whether that be Wolverine, whether that be any melee characters. Right now, Flyquest transitioning at the right time. 100 Thieves, though, swapping Vinny over to the Captain America to open things. Zelena also onto that Ultron. This composition hasn't worked out for them previously, but they do have 2 minutes to work with. We'll see if something can change.
Yeah, just kind of a neutral situation here. We're going to have one alt make that 2 on both sides, and starting off initially with the Bond. Out again goes the last stand. Terra trying to sweep, not able to find anyone just yet. Off angle, Zelos, great hiding there with the cape. Going to reset again, and here comes Energy. Energy duel, Energy does. Good tackle on the TTK, great bubble there by TTK to stay healthy. Adios is going to find one onto Harvey. Nice pick, and again, TTK finds Cooper in the back, just weaving it. 3-point shot from distance. Adios gonna try to find another Terra onto Spark Chief, and the numbers are traded, but it looks in the favor of 100 Thieves. Alts up for Fly, still not able to get anything there. Adios just dancing here, super mobile in the sky with Johnny, and down goes Adios.
Yeah, right now, I mean, TTK was putting the team on his back, found another one, Best found his counterpart, and they're just able to push on forward. 100 Thieves, this transition to this Ultron composition has definitely panned out. I mean, you have to rely on, that Meteor M from TTK, which is just a great shot. So for Flyquest's side, maybe they can, come back, at least kind of come into the third phase. But right now, 100 Thieves have looked better than they have on the other 2 maps. Right now, they're looking pretty damn good.
Yeah, one of the things you'll notice at players that play Magneto at this level is you need to have an ascend and descend button ready while you're playing Magneto or honestly, any character that has the ability to fly, because if you can descend while, when you initially use that alt, you start upwards, you can actually descend low, so you can weave that Meteor M in unique locations and spots that people may think that they're safe. So great pick there. Down goes Spark Chief as Terra finds one, looking for a second. Terra nearly has this alt every fight. Goes to show you how strong Punisher is in this current meta. And Adios playing Torch, another very strong hero right now.
100 Thieves doing this well. I mean, just able to take down Adios, making sure this Torch is uncomfortable. I mean, that first little bit in this third phase is harder for these flyers. So once 100 Thieves break through this choke point, I'd be a little bit worried for Flyquest, but they do have a last stand available into this Eternal Bond from 100 Thieves, so you know where they're all going to be.
And out goes the passive there for Energy. Energy is able to get some HP back, trying to find one TTK. Oh, great attempt there. Not able to make it happen. Zelena up on height now with the Ultron. We talk about Ultron being incredibly impactful as a strategist right now with raw damage, especially in triple comps like this. So Zelena going to keep the pressure on. Great movement. When you use that dash, you do get, I believe, 8 seconds of raw speed. And there comes the ult. They're holding on well. Adios takes out Harvey. Harvey goes down. Terra goes down. And you can find value here with Torch when you use that Supernova, which may be a little bit on the lower side of the tier list for ultimates.
Yeah, this character has a lot in its kit, right? With Human Torch, you mentioned it, Shib, to me, how when you melee, that character's flying all over the place, hitbox-wise. So hard to hit this character when he presses shift, goes incredibly fast as well. So Human Torch, one of the most mobile characters and highest damage dealing ones as well. Flyquest taking full advantage of it. Vinny already popping that freedom charge coming in. Flyquest also having to deal with the speed boost on top of it from this Punisher, but will they find any eliminations?
Yeah, Terra trying to find one, instead just buying space. And there goes the Meteor. Spark Chief. Oh, great cape there. Spark Chief finds Zelena. Terra onto Vest, and out goes the Bond for the side of Fly. Zelos just going to dance at around point. Spark Chief throwing out the bubble. Just going to start pummeling the front line, but only at 16% for the ultimate. Cooper popping that ultimate off as well. Now it is a neutral as nothing is left. The cooldowns are burned. Can Flyquest hold on, or will 100 Thieves do 100 Thieves things? Energy finds 3 as Zello sweeps Harvey, and that could be it. Good tackle here onto Zelena. Energy, an absolute demon here on this Wolverine, and you might want to pick him off the picking pool, and that is going to do it as Flyquest holds on for 4.3.
Yep, clean game from Flyquest at the moment. I mean, they had 2 minutes third phase, 100 Thieves did, but could not capitalize, lose 1 or 2 fights, and it's over. So, Flyquest right now with this Wolverine composition, their priority of that hero alongside having the Human Torch, it feels like they keep getting whatever they want. I mean, unfortunately for 100 Thieves, they've not necessarily banned out the wrong things, but it feels like Flyquest, they're so versatile. They're able to flex to so many different versions of the same composition right now alongside being able to play Groot, being able to play Doctor Strange. So I mean, this is looking like a scary team. I'd be a little nervous playing against Flyquest right now after they've made that lower bracket run.
Yeah, I will say I started to see 100 Thieves looking like their old selves there on some of those pushes, especially Terra 11 final hits. Obviously, a lot of pocketing going into this composition. It is a protect the Punisher during final judgment composition, but Delena now going to be making a switch here to Psylocke as we do see a bit of a change. So things will be shaken up here on this first point. We see Adios on the Penny. Not sure if that's going to be indefinite or not, but I think it's just for the lineup. It's likely for the lineup.
He got SJP. He got SJP already.
The lineup off the rip.
He did it. He did it. If you don't know, there is the Penny. I mean, everybody knows at this point, but if you don't know, Penny Parker has some lineups in your own spawn towards like the main point on Hall of the Jalia. Aim that towards the objective. SJP unaware, got smoked and rolled. Now Flyquest on their attack. Have the Doctor Strange portal available. They're going to go and set up behind 100 Thieves.
Yeah, it's worth portaling quickly to see if you can get in there before the return of SJP. But what I will say is if you take damage there early from Penny and you do not get KO'd, tell your strategist to hold off on healing you until the map starts and they'll actually get ult charge. Little known fact. So way to turn that back in your favor as we hold on here and start this first push. Tackle again. What do you know? Energy, just a monster, just built different here on the Wolverine.
It's getting a little bullied right now. 2 eliminations early on. Now Flyquest just walking towards the objective. Really just kind of controlling space right now is Energy's game plan, but they're against Terra with the shotgun. However, they will be missing a lot of their healing in the Cloak and Dagger walking back from the spawn.
And Terra pulling out the shotty, just trying to buy some space. Energy again onto TTK. These tackles are so impactful. Invis might need to be pulled out here. I'm not sure if it was banned out. I have to check back, but it is so difficult to escape the cat when the claws are out. Energy finds 2 more, and Flyquest on a mean assault here takes point 1.
Yeah, that was mean indeed. And 5 minutes in the streets phase, 100 Thieves, they got to figure out something, man. They got Delena going over to the Psylocke, so at least they have something to back up Vinny's dive. I mean, that could be the variance they need. But the Punisher now going to be left alone on the main. I just wanted to see, I want to see how 100 Thieves reacts to Flyquest and their ultimate upcoming fight. Right now, Flyquest looked like the better team, but maybe string together a few fights together, 100 Thieves can finally get a map win.
Yeah, ult advantage going to be slightly in their favor as they should work up 4 here. Terra going to find Smart Chief early, and that's a great pick on the defense, forcing them to reset likely unless they want to commit with a tackle. Could buy time, but not able to get that landing there.
They're sort of playing it back right now. Copy comes through from what looks like Cooper on the front line. Also, Audio's committing the Supernova. Matched on both sides by Harvey, so both Lokis committing their copied Cloak and Dagger ultimates. No eliminations necessarily just yet for Terra, though.
Yeah, it seems like teams are playing patiently with the Qs right now. Don't want to commit too much while the Eternal Bombs are out. You can use Final Judgment to find value there. Smart Chief going to take out Harvey, though, and that's a great start for the side of Flyquest. He tried to see the dunk. Unfortunately, that's not able to make it happen. Off of the last stand, and it takes out a few as Audio cleans that up. What a combination. Smart Chief on a TTK. Flyquest getting so much value out of energy here. It is absolutely insane. Delena going to take out Cooper, though, but it's not going to be for long as he goes down as well. Energy is showing up in the lights. What a star right now.
100 Thieves, I think they're not matching well against this Wolverine indeed. I mean, Energy last hand connected flush, huge connection onto 100 Thieves backline, onto their vanguards as well. We'll see how they react now, but like you mentioned, I mean, Invisible Woman could help them maybe deal with the Wolverine bubbles out, though. TTK has to try to recover, but he just can't.
Yeah, Cooper going to take out TTK early in the fight. Again, these early picks are so valuable. Being numbers up going into these neutrals, or at least these very few ultimates ready fight, is just such a problem. Another pick goes out, but this one on the side of 100 Thieves. Here comes Terra. Terra does not miss. Eyes on great burn down there of the crystals, keeping focus forward and driving through the entirety of the space as we see a chase down there by the front side of 100 Thieves. Not able to find anything. Vinny on the cap, just taking that space and annoying the back line, but is able to retreat there, find his team, get healed up, and here comes the initiation by Cooper.
Yeah, Flyquest so practiced, so well versed with dealing with those Punisher ultimates. Now they're under the back line. Green's out as well as early Cloak and Dagger ults, but oh no, Harvey got grabbed, stunned, and he's down even in the copy. Oh no, Spark Chief and Flyquest find 2, and I mean, you're just gonna have to stall now 100 Thieves side, but that's so bad. Harvey's ultimate now negated, removed. We're in the 3rd phase of the map with Shib. So much time on the clock, 4 minutes here for the Wolverine on this attack.
Energy getting a pick and an alt cancel in a millisecond is insane. This man cannot be stopped. 98% to another ultimate as Zelos and Adios are ready. If they can get this ultimate combination with Adios landing on top of them with Human Torch, that is quite the combination.
Guys, we just dead. We're not playing against Wolverine well. I don't know what to say. It feels like 100 Thieves are walking into Wolverine's claws, and it also feels like Flyquest are taking full advantage of the space they're provided.
Yeah, and we talk about Terra being one of the best Wolverines in the game. They take that off the field with a ban early on every time, and they just run it themselves. And Energy looking like he's up there as well with one of the top Wolverines. And as I'm saying that, another two-piece onto the squad as Terra and TTK go down. Is that enough space to push them? It's got to be very close with 3 minutes on. At this point, we are in any fight territory for Flyquest, who will be almost evened up with ultimates in this next fight. This is insane.
And they can't portal. I mean, you have him again. Oh, jeez, man. I mean, TTK, are they going to commit any Stratus ultimates? They commit Delena, so they come back through, half the touch with 2 meters left to go. And they're able to get energy. Greens were also forced as well, so that's nice. That's a nice pick for Team 100 Thieves as Flyquest just play around the corner, waiting for energy to come back.
And just for those who didn't notice, you can see Terra being very patient with the Q there. When you're in a situation like this that you're very close to losing the game, you cannot overcommit your ultimates, because if you do, it's game over. And you can see the hold there by TTK and Terra to not just follow up after they were ahead in numbers. No reason to burst those, but Flyquest trying to gain those ults back and try to win with one big fight. It's everybody presses Q in one fight, and it could be game over. Up in the sky goes the Meteor to keep him healthy. Terra now going to press Q and look for something on the back line, but great focus, great return and hiding behind the Vanguards to buy yourself time. And here comes the Eternal Bond on the side of 100 Thieves. No ultimates left besides Cooper for Fly, who will have the last second with Adios using that Human Torch as well. Will they be able to find anything in this potentially final fight? And out go the Hurricanes, the Tornadoes for days around the point to look for damage on Cap. And that is a good escape there by Vinny, who is able to get out. TTK and this, oh, excuse me.
Oh, they
did not touch point.
It was just Vinny with the drone touching, and maybe you would have had Cloak and Dagger touch, but he had the dash back, so we didn't get eliminated by the Meteor M. 100 Thieves get stopped. Chat, maybe you were right in the first prediction with Flyquest, and they 3-0 100 Thieves. Man, Flyquest looks damn good after losing that upper bracket chip.
Come and get your loot. Come and get your experience. The quest's complete until the playoffs, all the way from the bottom side. The first match getting knocked into the loser bracket and coming all the way through to now being one of the top seeds in Ignite, heading into the playoffs. Wow, what a play, and what good play across the board here by, I just can't believe it. Flyquest is just popping off. Energy is an absolute demon. Adios here, 34-2, 35-4, 17 finals, 11 finals. Terra doing what Terra does with 12, but it just was not enough to shut them down.
Yeah, I think that we saw the sort of answer to this kind of play style in EMEA with Insomnia versus other teams, but the real answer, I think, is Rad that beat him, sent him to the lower bracket. The real thing, the problem is when you play this Wolverine composition, you can't really deal with flyers all that well. But because you're given Human Torch, because you're given that Wolverine alongside the Hulk or the Thing, if the Thing goes through, it feels like you are mismatched, right, on the ground. 100 Thieves just constantly having to walk up, take space, but the people who take space get Wolverine grabs. So you're just constantly under pressure. So much damage from Flyquest, so many kidnaps from Energy, the follow-up from Adios. It just feels like Flyquest got whatever they wanted. I mean, the only downside was Luna Snow was banned, but it doesn't feel like Luna Snow would have really changed much for Flyquest. It just felt like they could play Cloak and Dagger. They could play the Loki as well. Just live, disengage. The discipline, the play of Flyquest also can't be understated. I mean, they just disengaged after Energy went down on that third point. Everybody together, nobody went down. So this team is so well practiced. You can tell that Flyquest, their heads, well on their shoulders. They have a good head on their shoulders, rather. And right now, I think that they're going to be the team to beat in North America unless Sentinel squad. How are you doing, Energy? Good. Congratulations on the win, man.
Thank you. I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. We got to get some of your jerseys, by the way. Can you show that off real quick? You want to stand up for the crowd?
Yeah.
I love the jersey, the Flyquest rep. Okay.
There you go.
Ooh, looking clean.
Looking good.
Looking clean, man.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, first of all, for you, I mean, it was definitely, you guys are so versatile, right? You guys as a unit. I mean, how do you feel like in Marvel Rivals, the fact that, you're able to flex that Wolverine, then go to, potentially that Human Torch or, at times even Ultron? Like, what does it feel like playing this game when you have to be as flexible as you are?
Feels good, to be honest. Like, it feels weird because I think there's a lot of like good options. So like that second map, I really wanted to go Torch, but like Wolverine is just nuclear there. It got Vinny off Groot like pretty fast, I think, on attack. So I think having those options to swap is like really, really good. But it's just about knowing what's best for not only just your team, just for your, like, you yourself. So.
Yeah, I know that your team has been just riding this momentum, so I got to ask you, what do you think changed from game one, where you guys were taken maybe by surprise, and now you're just on this tear of taking out the top teams?
From game one, as in like the beginning of the tournament?
Yeah, from the ego loss.
Yeah, I think we went in with a good amount of confidence. I know Vessel said that before, but we just had to lock in after that. Like, we knew it was do or die. Like, it was a big tournament, big things on the line. So after that, we really prioritized our scrims and what we were doing in them. It's really important.
Yeah, you guys look so good.
Yeah, they have, and you know, I think it is kind of it is pretty funny, and I think it wraps the bow pretty well on this group stage with that. You know, we go to the Hall of the Jolly to end the map, to end the series as well. You know, I think we had a picture of the statue, of the Black Panther statue as well, and I know you guys like to lock that character in before the game starts. So I don't know. I mean, what can you say anything on that? Like, is it about channeling that loss kind of moving forward, or do you feel like you maybe lost at the right time so you guys adapted and figured out the correct meta?
Yeah, so that Black Panther loss, like, I don't know, at least for me, it scarred me. Black Panther's, I'll always say, Black Panther's broken. So we just hovered. We hovered in the ego death because we knew we were banning it, and then we started winning. We were like, all right, we're just going to do this every game. We just do it every time. That last map, Vessel was in the bathroom at the beginning, and he didn't get to hover. We were a little scared, you know? So, but it was good.
Oh, his name broke, don't fix it. Yeah, no, I got it. Your Wolverine play, just discussing. What do you think is the solution to that? Did they need to ban it out, or was it going Invis? I don't think you banned Invis out. So curious for your take of how do you stop the cat, the Wolverine?
I think Invis is like pretty hard. Wait, hold on, Ma. 1 second. 1 second.
Oh, hey.
Wait, what was the question? I forgot.
How do you stop Wolverine?
I think Invis is really good. I know in our warm-up we did specifically ask to play against Wolverine, but yeah, I think Invis is like a pretty good counter, especially if you have mag banned. Then you can't bubble the Wolverine from the pool or just anything. I know the Thing is a pretty good counter too, just because when a wolf goes in, you just kind of ground him and he can't do anything. So.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And, you know, looking back at your guys' run through that lower brackets in the upper bracket, it's definitely reminiscent of some other hero shooter games that we can't mention. But, I mean, I think you guys for sure look amazing. And you're going to be going up against a very interesting team in Tech Yankee, an unsigned team from Group B. I mean, maybe could you talk about them, or you know much about them, or are you just going to go in full-blown confidence in the playoffs next week?
Techie, yeah. I mean, I think they're a really good, like, underdog team. I don't think they're the best team. Like, I don't think they're top 4, but I think they're a good team. So we're not going to go in like too cocky, like the same way we did with Ego Death, but we're definitely going to go in with confidence, you know, especially after the recent games we've had against the upper teams.
Yeah, it seems like you've adapted and evolved. I saw you had some food coming in there. I don't want to hold you up too much there, and I'm sure you want to celebrate. Is there anyone you want to thank or shout out before we say goodbye to you? It's been a pleasure.
My team, managers, coaches, everyone, especially my friends that, you know, watch party every day. We have a little server that they watch party us, support us, so it's really comforting. And my mom, you know.